Hi guys, it's been a lovely day in the garden, sunshiny and warm. Now in the evening I'm in the greenhouse and doing the last three TPS plants from Heiderot. This one had 2 berries on it. It's a good sign for me when the TPS plants make berries their first year, because most times they are not setting berries for me first year. It might be the short season, but I really don't know. Second year most of them make berries, but first year not too many of them. So we'll see what's inside here. This is nice. Since it was a warm day and these plants were standing in the greenhouse, the soil is nice and warm, which is much appreciated, to not have to put my fingers into ice cold soil like the last days. There seem to be lots of potatoes inside here. And a rock. There's a really nice amount of potatoes. They're a little small, so I guess this plant wasn't done growing yet. I think it was one of the plants which had started to have flowers again. So probably another late one. So that's really a good amount of potatoes, and no scab. That's great. These self-pollinated Heiderot, there was very little scab on them, so breeding with Heiderot is probably a good idea, because they don't seem to be prone to scab. That's good. So let's see what the next bag has inside. Bag number 2 with some weeds. 2 plants growing in it. So hopefully I will be able to see the difference. One of them was done a while ago, and this one was still growing when frost came. So that's the later one of the 2. And light yellow skin. So will probably be a white potato. Or very light yellow. There's some small potatoes in here, but was almost done growing. Let's see if the other potato plant made potatoes at all. Yes, it did. Some light pink. Another one and a third one. 4, 5. But not a great harvest. Plant number 1 in the bag and plant number 2 in the bag. No keepers, too little harvest. Inside color probably not too interesting, and the outside color is not too attractive. Here's some scab on these, none on these. Let's see what the last bag has. Last bag with this cross also had 2 potato plants inside. This one was done growing a while ago. This one was going strong until the frost came. The one which was still alive and growing has light red ones. And here we have the other variety, just a little more pink. So the early one in this pot just made 4 potatoes. These ones are scabby. At least some of them. And I won't put much weight on the scales because they were not done growing. That's it with living in northern climate. You need potato varieties which are not too late for giving you a crop. So after having Heiderot as self-pollinated seed, I know that it has a tendency to produce offspring which is very late. So when crossing it, I should probably cross it with something early and hope that the earliness is passed on from the other variety. It has some very neat features like the red skin and red flesh, and the resistance to scab. So it's totally worth breeding with it. In the other TPS plants I had this year, there also was a very promising cross between Apache and Lukongo, and some of these were very early, so I might cross Heiderot to these. I'm going to do a kind of a breeding list in autumn when I still have good memory of the results from this year. I will decide which crosses I make, or I want to make. Sometimes it doesn't work out when you don't have flowers on both varieties at the same time, but I always make some notes which varieties I think could be promising. But anyways, I'll empty out the soil here and bring the other varieties into the shot so we can have a better comparison. Here we are, pot number 1, the plant which was giving me some berries. It seems to be a nice deep red from the outside, and it's really bright colored on the inside. There's some smaller areas here with a little bit more white, but that's a really great color. Here, probably no surprise from bag number 2. It's very light yellow color, and the harvest from bag number 2, both plants didn't give me a lot. That's kind of cute. It's pink inside, with a white ring. I cut open a green one, so there you can see the edge, how far the green has spread. Pink from the outside and a pink eye, but too little harvest, it's just not worth growing it again. Then we have the third bag with the early plant, white flesh, pink outside, and 4 potatoes, 4 small potatoes, and the late plant which did not finish the growing cycle. Also a really nice inside color. There is some difference when comparing these two. First bag and last bag. So that's why I like to harvest several bags, 3 or 4, to have a better possibility to compare how the red is spreading. But this one is a very late one. This one was giving me berries and has a great inside color. I'm going to keep this one. I might be growing some seeds from the berries next year, but I might use this one for breeding, and I'll just see how it produces next year. Since there is no scab on them, that's looking promising, even if the size of the potatoes isn't too great, but it's a lot of them at least. So that's the keeper of this batch, and I'll keep in mind that the mother variety really is interesting for breeding, as long as I have something early to cross with it. So thank you for watching, and see you next time.